Hey, Shalom Akim. Once again, just coming through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem El Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and that do teach well. May Yahweh Shem El Shai continue to guide you and give you more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And much love unto the Akim that are out there laboring and pushing this truth. Okay, with sincerity, all right, because sincerity goes a long way. Okay, really believing and being sincere in this truth, it goes a long way. You know, that aids to your salvation. Today, this lesson or this video today is going to be based upon the conversation that we had last Saturday at camp, while on the highways, while we were filming. The topic of the Urim and the Thummim came up, and how the men of the Lord are pushing videos on the internet, and by doing that, it's spreading out through the four corners of the earth. This gospel. So with that being said, the platforms that we use, especially YouTube being the most popular one, you could say that's like Acts the second chapter, being performed, being performed electronically, right? Because you have the different tongues. And I'm going to give an example because as of the moment, I was just watching Elder Taziawan's in-class that he's having here. It's called As a Roaring Lion, and the Elder's channel is GMS at the Job, and I suggest you go and subscribe to that channel. Okay, so, if you're not aware of it, please go subscribe to that channel. But I clicked on the settings here, and I looked at subtitles, and you have the option to turn them on or to turn them on, right? And when you turn them on, it can go into English, and you have other options here, right? So the Lord, he has performed the Acts the second chapter electronically. Now there are brothers out there that speak different tongues, right? But it's like the Lord, he made it even easier for you to push this word in any language that you want to, because when you upload this video, and let's just say a person in India or South Africa, they watch this video that you see on the screen right here, they can just click the gear here, the gear setting, and go to subtitles, and then they'll get the understanding of what's being taught. Okay, so this is like Acts the second chapter. But before I get that precept, I'm going to go into Mark chapter 16 verse 15. And he said unto them, Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. And every creature is the different nations, right? Different nations, because we're all creatures. We're different nations, right? And we're different trees in the garden, different type of creatures, different makes of mankind. Because you got the sons of the righteous, which are the princes of the power, the sons of men, and then they have the sons of the wicked, right? And they're different creatures within themselves, right? So, now, with that being said, if you were to go into the four corners of the earth or in all the world and preach this gospel, you would have to know different languages to do so. And right now, if you really think about it, we can't physically do that. Because one, it's very costly. You have to have a lot of money, right? And you have to be on the go all the time. So the Lord has made it easy by creating the internet, the Urim and the Thummim. And that's how we're able to go into all the world and preach the gospel. And it's not just done through YouTube, it's done through other platforms. different social media platforms. You have Dailymotion, you have Periscope, you have Twitch. You have all these. Well, Twitch is more for gaming and video games and all that, but you have all these different social media networks or platforms to push videos, like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, which that's heavily used. People use Snapchat, right? So it's endless to get this word out. It's endless, and I'm sure, especially if they're very popular platforms, they would have a subtitle section, right? So that's the Lord doing it. This is the electronic version of speaking tongues, if you want to say it, if you want to coin it like that or term it like that. Now this is Acts chapter 2, verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place, and suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. That's the Spirit coming in, and it hits you. And that's literal and that's spiritual as well, because the men of the Lord, especially when you're grouped together, you could feel it. Even when you're on your own, creating videos, whether you're meditating, you're studying, you could feel the Spirit come in, especially if you're thinking good thoughts, and you want to push this word. The Lord He will send an angel to sup with you. All right, and that's the form of the Comforter. Okay, and Yahushua is that Comforter. Okay, giving you that Spirit, supping with you, so you can push this word. And sometimes you feel it physically. Sometimes it feels like a presence is there touching your back. It feels like a tingling sensation. It feels just like a rush sometimes. And then you're hit with it, and then that's when all the light bulbs start going off. Then you start to brainstorm. You start to hit precepts. You start to write things down. You start to think about things. Start to hit those videos. You start to study. Right? That's what it's like. So it says, verse 3, and there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. And that's right, because you're going to have our people scattered amongst the other nations. And that's the prophecy of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter as well, the diaspora of us being scattered because of our rebellion and our unrighteousness against Yahweh Shem Shai. So that's a part of the curse. That's why we're scattered everywhere, and we look like these other nations as well. Okay, and it says devout men. So these aren't just any type of men. These are men of honor or men of valor. Okay, we'll say it like that too. Men of valor. So let's look at the word devout in the Greek. Let's get the word.
Strong's G,
Strong's G, 2126. Eula base.
All right, and it says taking hold well. That's right. And they're the ones that are going to take hold of Yahweh Shem Shai, which is this word. Carefully and surely, cautiously, reverencing the Most High, the power, pious, religious, right? So these are men who feared Yahweh Shem Shai, and they believed and they had faith. And that's the only type of people that the Lord is going to choose, right? The ones that are scattered, that are part of the elect. So let's go back. And it says, now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? Now, of course, they're going to be amazed. And obviously, because that was a miracle that took place, for you to just be hit with the Spirit to speak all these different tongues. That is amazing. That's marvelous. And that actually increases your faith too. Now, you can also bring that into account with that being electronically, right? Because when people they click this setting and they're like, oh, what does this mean? They go into it, they hit the subtitles, then they begin to get illuminated. They're like, wow, I can't believe that, I'm able to get this truth this way, and technology is very amazing. It is, especially if it's used on the right hand side by Yahweh Shem Yoshai. It can be very amazing, and it is amazing, because even when you get this truth, even if you speak, because I understand English and I understand what the elder's saying, so I don't need subtitles, but even that within itself, for me to right now watch this lesson and to get edified, it's amazing. It's marvelous. I don't have to, wait another day. I don't have to, I don't have to go run to the library just to get an internet connection and get YouTube. I can do it from the comfort of my own home. Right? Nobody bothering me. You got all the different settings here. You got 720p HD high definition. You got normal play speed. You can make it slower. Right? You can make it. You can make these videos for the hearing impaired. This is amazing. This is all technology from Yahweh Shem Yoshai. It's beautiful, right? So this is a marvelous thing. So you can compare that to this precept right here, man. Verse 8, and how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born, Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia, in Egypt and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and the strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of the Most High. And they were all amazed and were in doubt, saying one to another, what meaneth this? Others mocking said, these men are full of new wine. But Peter, standing up with the 11, lifted up his voice and said unto them, ye men of Judea, and all that ye that dwell at Jerusalem, be this known unto you, and hearken to my words. For these are not drunken, as ye suppose, seeing it is but the 3rd hour of the day. But this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith the Most High, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And this is all prophecy being fulfilled. And when the Lord says it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Right? And that's where your faith has to kick in to actually believe it. Okay? And some people are going to be in doubt. Some people may not believe it. That's why you have a lot of scoffers and scorners. They don't believe it. And you know what? That's just because the Lord hasn't given them the faith to believe it. The Lord has not given them enough credit to get this truth. So you have to consider yourself very, very privileged and special to really understand what's being said in these scriptures, and for you to understand what the prophets are saying, especially. Okay, so I just thought I'd bring this out. Hopefully this was edifying. It wasn't too much I went into, but it's very good. So until next time, just want to give all praises, glory and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Until next time, Kwam Yasha Allah, and a Bible Ball Shalom.